Shalom, my friends. We're coming up to Rosh Hashanah, and we got to learn how are we going to tap into the power of the day, the power of saying that I'm going to recreate my whole life to be completely focused on God consciousness. That's what I'm living for. That's what I'm yearning for. That's what I'm investing in, God consciousness. So how do you tap into that? Our sages teach us that the way you tap into the power of any festival is through the mitzvahs. The mitzvah of that festival create a vessel to receive the divine abundance that's coming down from heaven at that time. So on Pesach you have to eat matzah, otherwise you haven't created that vessel. And on Sukkot you have to shake a lulav and etrog, because that's the thing you need to do to create that connection. So what do we do? What is the mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah? Is blowing the shofar. It's an incredible, deep, Kabbalistic, crazy ideas, but I want to pull it down to what's the essence of blowing the shofar. Essence of blowing the shofar is giving back that which Hashem gave us in order to serve Him. What do I mean? It says in the Torah that Hashem blew our soul into us, and that's how we got life. And what are we meant to do with our soul? We're meant to use it completely devoted and give it back to Hashem, to serve Hashem, to give ourselves completely over to living ourselves in a God-conscious life and helping everyone else in the world to do that. So Hashem blew our neshama into us, and we're saying, you gave it to me, I'm going to use it to serve you, I'm going to blow it back to you. And that, another way of saying that is mesirut nefesh, giving up my life for something else. I'm not living for me anymore. I'm living for this relationship with Hashem. So we learn this from the shofar as well. The shofar reminds us of the ram's horn that happened at the Akedah. And what's the Akedah? The Akedah is when Yitzhak said, I'm going to give up my life to do with what Hashem wants. I'm just going to give up my life for Hashem because that's what He wants. And Avraham Avinu did even greater in a way thing, because he was giving up the thing he loved, his son, and going against everything he believed in, all of his values, everything he taught everyone else. He said, you're not allowed to have human sacrifices, and you've got to do the right thing, and you've got to have morality. So Hashem says something that went completely against his das, completely what he knew to be right and true, and completely against his ratzon. It was against what he really wanted, but he said, I'm going to give up what I know, and I'm going to give up what I want, and I'm going to give up what I love. I'm going to give myself up, my whole being, I'm going to give it up to do just what Hashem wants. Why? Because I trust Hashem. Hashem's the king, and if He says it, it must be best for me. So we blow the shofar to say, I'm making you the king. I'm living only for this relationship. I'm going from katnut, from small mindedness, to gadlut. The shofar is shaped like that. It goes from small to expanded, because we want to expand our sense of being by getting beyond just ourself. That's what we're trying to do. Another thing it's trying to do is bring us into the present moment. It's bringing us into the present moment because it's just a primal scream. We're davening all day, and there's so many words. So the shofar is saying, I don't have words. I don't have any words anymore. I just have this primal urge, this primal yearning. My neshama itself is screaming out. It's a wordless prayer. It's the voice, it's like a child. A child can't express himself in words, and he just has to scream, he just has to cry. So we're like that. And by the way, it's very good for equaling the Jewish people. Some people are better at praying than other people. Some people understand the prayers better than other people. The shofar makes us all one nation, and this is the other idea of the shofar. When the king was coronated, they blew the shofar and said, the king too. So that's what we're doing. We're saying, Hashem, you're the king, but we say, Ein melech belo am. There is no king without a nation. So if we're not a nation, then Hashem's not the king. So how do we become a nation? We become equal with each other by blowing the shofar and saying, this is just like a baby, a 1-year-old baby just calling out to our Father in Shemayim from the deepest depths of our heart. Bezrat Hashem. So if that can be your kavanah when you hear the shofar, when you hear your shofar, you're just saying, I'm getting out of my mind. I'm getting out of my desires and my problems and my trauma and my regrets and my doubt and my guilt. I'm putting that all behind me, and this noise is piercing through everything to my deepest essence, to my neshama, which is tshuva. I'm returning. I'm making it very simple. It's just a simple sound. It's a simple sound, and from that simple sound, I'm connecting. it's like there's a divine being controlling everything and made the shofar call out from the kotel just when we needed it. So whatever I was saying, let's just be simple. It's a simple sound. It starts as a whole sound, do, and then it gets broken, do, because we have brokenness, and then it goes into a bigger, better, more whole, perfect sound, Tekiya Gedola, do. And at that moment you're getting out of your mind and you're tapping into the depth of your heart and the depth of your soul, and you're breathing deeply and you're listening to the sound and you're revealing your deepest self, your connection with Hashem. And we basically say when Mashiach comes, we're going to blow the shofar, and that's going to be the ultimate redemption. And the ultimate Mashiach isn't so we won't be suffering anymore. Mashiach we'll have a full-on, face-to-face, palpable revelation of Hashem in our lives. This is what we want. B'ezrat Hashem, we can tap into this power, this Rosh Hashanah, give us all a bracha, that we can really be present to the sound of the shofar and to the sound of our own neshama, which is yearning for a connection to Hashem. B'ezrat Hashem, Shana Tova U'Matuka.